Hi everyone, can you see me? I can see you. Amit Srivastav has basically summed it up. He's basically said, happy birthday to you.
Hey. Namaste, Norman, and namaste, Chris. Oops. Namaste to everyone, and namaste to the audience.
Well, Chris is not here.
Wherever you are.
So, where are you? Is the question
Uh,
that I'm asking.
it's a $1 million question. I'm in the Virgin Islands.
Right. I'm trying. Uh, I'm probably equally as dumbfounded as everybody else. How on earth do you get to the Virgin Islands when you can't even get between cities in those countries?
In the US, you can still travel overseas, and whichever country is allowing US citizens, you can go, like you could go to Dubai, for example, you could go to Turkey. There are several islands you could go to. Um, Even India, if you get a visa, you'd be able to go.
But is it going to be easy to get back in?
Yes, for sure. For not for US residents, it's fine.
So if you come back into the country, do you have a lockdown?
No.
Like
And
a quarantine?
there's no quarantine here, and there's no quarantine when you get back. All you need is a negative test. That's all. It's
That's
been like that
the,
for a whole year. So yeah.
but that's the, I'll tell you honestly, that's the reason why America has a high level of COVID. Because the damn test doesn't mean that you are incubating it or, you go,
Mhm.
because it takes up to 2 weeks for it to come out.
Yeah.
So if
Well,
you picked it up from another country,
yeah.
that country, I'm bewildered.
Well, well, let's not get into COVID policies. Every state has its own, like Florida has been open for a year and they have very few cases. Some states are completely shut and their cases are very high. So, and most of our cases came from New York, you know. So, yeah,
No, but I'm sorry, I don't want to harp on it, but Australia has your 2 weeks quarantine, no matter who
yeah,
you are. When you come in, that's it. There's no test that can change that. You are going to
yeah.
be, it's
Well, again,
amazing.
it's an island, so they have to be extra cautious. And Hawaii is like that actually. Hawaii is very much like Australia. Yeah.
But okay, you're saying it's an island and therefore it has to be cautious. Why? It should be cautious for any country.
I don't want to get into it. Every country has its own
No, no,
policy.
it's just interesting to me.
It's
That's
too
all.
serious. Yeah, yeah. I'm just happy. I do not want to be quarantined. I mean, you self quarantine, I suppose. When I went to Dubai earlier this year, I self quarantine. Well, not self quarantine, but you're home. You're extra careful for a week, and then it's fine. I mean, I haven't been sick in almost 2 years, so
No, but I'm not talking about you and your individual
yeah,
case, but in general.
yeah.
Okay, official Sai saying happy birthday.
Oh,
Um,
thank you, official Sai.
Amit Chiristav saying happy birthday. Everybody saying, most saying happy birthday.
Thank you.
Cricket View, I think, and review. Where are you guys? Missing punctuality. In the show business, there is no punctuality. If a
True.
system breaks down, we can't help it. In my case, I had problems logging in. I had
Yes.
to, I was not getting the codes, and that sort of delayed me. And I'm sure Pretty's the same. Sometimes, guys, you have to understand we're not doing it because we're lazy. It's just that we simply couldn't get in. That can
Yes.
happen very easily. So, all right,
Should I take my glasses off?
yeah, I think so. Let's you look. You don't know why. Is it more? Are you wearing the glasses because
It's just
you're
stylish, I think, for in the beginning, and then I always remove it.
so? As some of you, if not all of you, has seen, I uploaded a Chris Spooky batting video. Did you see that?
I did not see that. I didn't have a chance. It is just over 6:30 here. It's very early, although it's very sunny, and the day is ready for sure, but it's early.
I'm just trying to work out. So, is there a British Virgin Islands as opposed to a US Virgin
Yes,
Islands?
they are both of them. There's the US Virgin Islands and then there's the British. They're next to each other. I have been to both before many times. Uh, Very different islands, I would say. They both have their own charm. But for the
So,
for
where
the
are you?
US,
Are you in
yeah.
the British? Are you in the British Virgin Islands?
No, I'm in the US Virgin Islands, but I can go to the British ones if I want. There's also three other big islands here that make up part of the US Virgin Islands. So you can go between islands, which a lot of people do, which I'll be
I'm
doing.
just opening up Google Maps here. So you're very close to Anguilla, which apparently has the most beautiful beaches. I haven't been to Anguilla.
Okay, interesting. I'll be going to St. John, I think, on Easter. It's a very, very famous island, beautiful beaches.
You're very close to Antigua, you know that.
Yeah, Mervin was telling me you're so close.
Yeah, and yeah, so British Virgin Islands and US Virgin Islands. Puerto Rico is next to you.
Yes, yes.
And then you've
Most
got
people Puerto
Dominican
Rico.
Republic,
Yes.
Haiti, Jamaica, and Cuba's very close. I've been to Cuba, I've been to Jamaica, I've been to Antigua, of course, and Montserrat, not Dominican Republic, so we're very, very close. Anguilla's very close. St. Kitts Nevis, I've been there,
Hmm.
Antigua, Montserrat, Guadalupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia. I've been all those places. They're all very, I've been everywhere around you, but not to where you are.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I've literally been, I've seen British and US Virgin Islands, but yeah, Anguilla, I haven't been. There's about a dozen places in and around where you are. I've been
Mhm.
there. So
Amazing.
funny how, yeah. So would you have been able? Okay, I know I'm harping on it, but would you have been able to go to Antigua if you
I don't
shot?
know. I don't know if they're allowing U.S. I don't know who they're allowing and if they're allowing people at all. If they are, then yes, I could have, or I can.
Right. So what I did, pretty, I released a video on Chris's batting,
Okay.
which I wanted to talk to about. I think he's running scared. I think he's scared because he knew I'd talk about it, and and I made it spooky and it was quite funny. And this morning we had. Did you see the one that I was with Monty and the Palmy Army
I
guys?
didn't get a chance. I've been in flights and
But you
my
knew
flight
about it.
was
You
yeah
knew
yeah
about it, so you must
I
have said,
saw I saw the thumbnail. Yes.
okay, having some fun. So we were going to talk about IPL tonight, or
Hmm.
today, or time tonight, my time. But we're going to wait for Chris to come on deck. We've got a few more days to go because, in fact, the
Yeah,
IPL doesn't start till April 7th.
that's right.
I'm actually
April
going to
9th. Yeah.
I'm actually going to court on that day for going through a stop sign, which is hilarious. I'm fighting the case. I'm fighting
Wow.
a stop sign.
Interesting.
I mean, it was a rigged effort. He reckons I stopped for 2 seconds, not 4 seconds. I
Uh-huh.
said, but I said to him, so you're saying I stopped? And he says, yes, you stopped. So what's the problem? Is that the laws in America where if you go through a stop sign, they can book you, but if you stop for not long enough, they book you? I just find that ridiculous.
Here it's very different. They may book you, but if the police doesn't or the officer, the ranger doesn't show up to court and you do, you win the case. And half the time they don't show up. So it's kind of the system is very different here, you know.
It's crazy. I hope mine's been delayed several times. It's only a stupid stop sign. I'm fighting it because he said to me, I stopped. I said, well, the law says I've stopped. Then I've done nothing wrong. Absolute goose.
You know, I
Okay.
found a beautiful part of the restaurant in the corner. No one can see me. You're probably supposed to mask up here. I don't know, but you know, I'm very cozy. I just hope nobody barges in. I think we'll be okay. Seems like everything is going to be just fine. But it's been quite
Who's
one.
going to barge in? Who's going to barge in? A local Virgin Islands person?
The staff, hotel staff, and say, "Excuse me, what are you doing? You need to be in a mask and stuff." So because it's breakfast time from 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. and so I'll go there soon after we finish. But that's happening at another part of the hotel. So I found luckily where I am there was a pool and there was this rooftop beautiful hotel. I'll give you a tour later. And I said, this is the spot. I just hope there's reception, and there is. So worked out very beautifully for us.
We had a problem there.
Yeah.
It's unusual. Chris Vernon and Monty Pans are playing golf. Look, Prathamesh, you have to understand that we can't be available. All of us can't be available every single day.
Yes.
I mean, they're not working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
No.
These guys have breaks. And I have to be fair. Monty was with us this morning.
Yeah.
And it was funny because the other guys who were on, they had to go to work. And Monty's asking them more and more questions. And they went. So Monty thought he was supposed to go. And I was left by myself. But it was funny because then I had people randomly on the beach join me.
Yeah,
and I
I
had
love
one gentleman named Lionel, who was 84 years old, who goes to the beach every day to the surf club, who joined me. He was the cutest guy. And he was wearing a South hat. It was a lot of fun. So Mitchell Masters, I was saying, is pulling out of the IPL. Well, you know what? I'm not impressed with their play anyway, so I don't think it's a great loss to be honest. I'm being nasty, but he's a bit all over the shop. And if he's pulling out from the IPL, he better be injured, because otherwise, why would you miss out on such an amazing opportunity? Because he's not playing for Australia, and there's a good chance he won't play for Australia again. It's certainly not in Test format. ODI and T20 floats around, but he's not really in the side. What do you think about the Steve Smith situation? Do you know about that?
Okay, great. I wanted to, when I heard that you guys were talking about it, I really wanted to chip in on that conversation. But obviously, I was supposed to be in between planes. I was supposed to be in Miami airport at that time. But the plane was delayed, so I came back home. It was a very, very interesting evening. So my take on it is, look, if you watch that documentary Crossing the Line, which I'm sure you might have, I encourage people to watch it because it shows how the media played really the biggest role in exposing this whole thing. And I think if media hadn't done that, you would have thought, oh wow, really bad luck, or did these guys really cheat or try? Was there an intention to cheat or whatnot? But it exposed everything in broad daylight, and you could see everything, the intention, the back and forth, the walkie-talkie, and so I think after that came out in the news, because I think they changed their stories slightly. They were more ambiguous in the beginning, and then at some point they had to just man up and say, no, we shouldn't have done that. Look, I think he's a fantastic player, fantastic captain, leader. Obviously he's a person of great integrity. You can see how much cricket means to him. As a captain, however, he is responsible for whatever happens, in the team. And remember, the Test captain or the cricket, captain of Australia is the second most important position in the country, second only to the Prime Minister. Right? They always say this. I think Australians particularly like to pride themselves in playing a fair game, honest game, work, play hard, and they just have always been like that. So I think for them it was untenable at some point when the whole thing got exposed. I do think that his punishment was a little harsh, but I don't think that he should have been let off, because it went from not knowing what these people were up to sort of having an idea and looking the other way. I think that's what it ended up being. And as a captain, if there are people talking about doing something that they shouldn't, you should be the first one to say, I don't think so, and you cannot do that, or but people do what they do in the moment. However, his punishment was very harsh, for sure. He did. I think Cricket Australia wanted to set an example for the rest of the world and for the rest of Team Australia to make sure that something like this never happens again. and I'm sure it never will, at least not in this way. I'm shocked that he has had a comeback after what a lot of people would have said this is the end of his career, certainly the end of his captaincy ever, right? Um, so it's interesting to see that now he's putting his hand up for potential captaincy and to lead the country again. Uh, you're obviously shocked or you have mixed feelings about it, but I wonder how the rest of the cricket world is viewing it.
Well, Justin Langer has made it pretty clear that everything's fine, thanks, we don't need him to be captain. And why shouldn't he say that? Because Tim Payne is currently the captain. Okay, we could argue that Tim Payne's career is coming to an end at some stage, yes. But the audacity of Steve Smith to come out and say, I'm pledging for captaincy publicly. People are saying, is it staged? Did the press beat it up? There's two things that annoy me. If he did say it, okay, he can say whatever he likes, but he's not captain. He has said relentlessly for some time that he will never captain Australia again. And then people turn around and say something different is bizarre. Then for him to be photographed with two young kids holding a bat and another person holding a bat by happenstance in Waverley Oval, which is not his home ground. His home ground is in Sutherland. So he was in Waverley Oval pretending to be with bat. That's staged. That didn't happen accidentally. He didn't happen to be walking past. Admittedly, he does live closer to Waverley Oval than he does to Sutherland Oval, which is Glenn McGrath Oval. But it was he was fully aware of what was going on. He knew that it was being photographed with that intention to be used. So if he knew and he willingly got photographs, he can't be mistakenly taken out of context. He purposely tried to win over the public so as to have a popular opinion, a good one, for him to be captain again, even before the selectors even considered him, even before Justin Langers even knew about it. And Tim Payne probably didn't have a clue about it either, even though there was chances that someone would take the role, maybe. But it's a deliberate attempt to really create what is unfortunately going to be a problem, because it looks silly, even though a lot of Australians are saying, oh yeah, he should be captain. Yeah, we think he's bad. What, he deserves it. No, that's not the way you become captain. You don't gain public opinion and then try to coerce that with the committee. It's disgusting. It actually upsets me even more. If he suddenly was announced as captain, okay, we would accept that. But he has actually gone about a bizarre campaign very deliberately. He also launched his YouTube channel on the same day.
I know, I'm the one who told you about that because I follow him on Twitter.
I know, but I'm just saying to you.
I know.
Whether you
Same
told me or
day.
not,
Yeah.
the fact that he did it on the same day, it stinks of or smacks of absolute, staging something.
Well, it's a publicity stunt. He's going Hollywood. He's totally going Hollywood on this. And this is what Hollywood stars do. They pay paparazzi to come and photograph them with someone leaving a restaurant. They know exactly who's going to stop them, ask questions, or then they pretend that they don't want to see, they look away. I mean, the whole thing is paid for. I know paparazzi in Hollywood. Some of them are good friends of mine.
I know Ben Horne very well as well. Ben Horne. And I'm afraid he's a nice bloke. Tremendous guy, really nice bloke. I have a lot of time for him. I'm not even blaming him, but there's something greater working on here. Whether Steve Smith approached Ben Horne, whether Cricket Australia set up the whole thing with Ben Horne and Steve Smith, which would be bewildering, because that would go. They kick themselves in the foot doing that, because what they should have done. Well, if Cricket Australia had any, they're claiming they've got privately deep reservations about this, right? So it doesn't look like Cricket Australia did it. But if Cricket Australia got wind of this, they should have told Ben Horne, right, hold back a second. We agree with the decision, or whatever the case is. Bring Tim Payne on, get Tim to admit publicly that he may not be captain. Then allow Steve Smith to come on air and say he will be captain. Do it in a manner where Tim Payne's aware of it. Justin Langer's aware of it, the general public then becomes aware of it, and then Steve Smith comes and says what he said. You've let that, and I know paparazzi do it, but it's disgusting. I'm trying to work out the last time a captain did that. It's never. I don't think it's happened that I can remember a captain saying I want to be captain when he's not even selected. It's for Justin Langer to say no, we don't need him at this point. Tim Payne as the captain is actually a really big slap.
That's a big blow to him. And you're absolutely right. They are a secret, I mean, they are closed door meetings that need to happen with all parties involved, and they come to the right decision. And I'm sure Steve Smith is would be a fantastic captain. And if the management and selectors think that that's the way that the team should be going, they would approach Steve Smith and ask, and if he's interested,
But
and that's when.
he has said on a number of occasions early on, I grant that, but he said often enough, even when he was banned for, I think it was 12 months from being captain.
Yes.
So even at the end of that 12 months, he still said, he maintained that he was never going to be captain. So you can change your mind.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that, especially if you're asked by Cricket Australia to consider it again. So what they should have done, if Cricket Australia were aware of it, and I'm not saying, I don't know really whether they were or not, because there's rumours saying that the reservation, Cricket Australia, if they had any knowledge of this, they would have made it publicly a better process to say, well, tell Tim, get Tim in a room, get Steve in a room, whatever, say, guys, we want to change captains. This is why. I'm pretty sure Tim Payne would be okay about it, and if he was told properly, and then Smith could have taken the reins, and it would have been all acceptable. No one upset.
Yes.
They've absolutely stuffed it. I don't care whether it was the journalist Ben Horn's fault. I don't care if it was Cricket Australia's fault, Steve Smith's fault, anyone's fault. It's rude to have done that. Even though I agree that Tim Payne shouldn't be captain, and I would have accepted Steve Smith, even though he's changed his mind. The way they've handled it is made it a joke. Now, if it does happen, if Steve does get the captaincy,
wow,
I would like to see it done properly. Even now, they can come out and apologise and say, guys, we got this a bit wrong. Perhaps we need to retract it. We'll now do it the proper way. Tim Payne come up and say what he says, followed by Steve Smith, announce it, be done with it. If they don't do anything now, if there's silence, it'll even get worse.
You know what?
I mean,
You're
Mosley came out
absolutely
very strongly and agrees with me totally and said he was sacked. He shouldn't be made captain any longer. Be done with it.
Interesting.
And that's what should happen.
I think the beauty of all of this is it can be salvaged very quickly. There's a public apology to Cricket Australia or whatever, just a statement, get a little press conference going. He knows the drill. They've done this so many times. A simple statement saying, oh, I was just expressing my if I get offered, I would take it in a heartbeat. I just want to tell Australia that this means so much to me, which obviously it does. And come on, say some nice flowy things, and people are silly enough to buy it, as we have seen. I think he has to do a bot job now. I don't know if he will. He might not.
But see, Ben Horn in his role for that paper would be licking his lips now because it's created us talking about
controversy, scandal.
Everybody's reading the article, waiting for the next article, waiting for the comment. It's clever theatre. So you can't blame. Ben Horn didn't make up that statement.
Yeah.
I'm very sure Steve Smith knew exactly what he was doing. He might be regretting it now, but he knew exactly what he was doing. He's pictured with kids holding bats and another one's holding bats. What is he going to say? It was an accident. I mean,
no, it looked like he knew.
I didn't say that I said this. It's embarrassing all round. It's a complete stuff up, and I'm annoyed, and I'm desperate for Australia to get their act together with their cricket, and they're not. They're going to further implode, and I would still bring in Aaron Finch because Aaron Finch has handled himself very well. He's got none of this crap of this thing going on. Steve Smith is going to play for Australia. Yeah. Let him be in the captaincy group, not be the captain. He can still influence every game, every decision as the captain would, and not
Yes.
have to take this ridiculous stand. Now is when if Tim Payne plays the next Test match, which is not until the end of the bloody year anyway. That's what is so ridiculous.
Yeah, and
So
it's not fair on Tim Payne. I mean, I'm obviously not a great fan of his playing or his captaincy, especially with what we saw with India and Australia. However, he is their duly elected captain, and he's earned that spot. And ironically, he took over because of Sandpaper Gate, and it's funny that Sandpaper Gate is, I guess, coming back to haunt him now. It's very, very almost like coming full circle in a way. If he gets kind of booted out of his role that he had was given because of that incident in the first place.
it was so publicly done. It was so publicly done. It was staged to the hilt. What idiot would believe that he suddenly had two people there batting next to him and he was in the photo?
No, he
I mean,
looked like he knew he was being photographed. He almost had that
I'm
smile.
I'm absolutely disgusted. This is an absolute stuff up. Absolute stuff up. And it looks amateurish. And I'm not going to blame Ben Horn for this.
No, he's just a journalist doing his job. Yeah.
If Steve Smith allowed these photographs to be taken,
the publication should be more responsible too. I mean, look, also publications also with publicists stage these things. I mean, this happens all the time, certainly here in Hollywood and stuff and all over. But I think Australians also hold their team to such high standards that almost nobody can sort of match. But I mean, this is a simple thing, you I think it's also semantics. It's the words that you use. It's what you say when you say. There's a way to convey this. Obviously, you're keen. You'd love to have that rolled back. There's a way to sort of let the world know about it in a very humble way, in a candid way, I suppose, rather than, I mean, front page, like I'm willing. Yeah, I saw that.
It says my captaincy pledge. I'm actually looking at it now because
ironic the pledge, that's it. Ironically, he's such a good player and he's such a good captain. It might be very good for the team. So it's like, what do you do,
Well, I guess it doesn't. I mean, honestly,
the morals have gone out.
The other side of it is, no matter what happens now, if Tim Payne is even upset or something and Steve is captain, you know what? Once he's captain and playing cricket again, we're going to get on with it. We're going to forget this. I know that, but it's not the point. It doesn't make it good. Doesn't make it right. And there are a lot of people saying, "Oh, Steve should be captain," and actually rallying the forces behind him as fans. But that's not the way he gets selected to be captain. Does that mean now every person who's potentially going to be captain goes to the press first and tries to get public opinion before he becomes captain? That's if I was a selector, I would go bang bang immediately. Why? Because if he's capable of doing that now, what else is he going to be capable of when he eventually gets sacked? Is he going to come back in the press again and do it? It's a disaster waiting to happen. It's been handled abysmally. I can assure you that Cricket Australia, they're saying, or we're hearing they're saying that they privately very reserved or have reservations about giving the captaincy. Okay, then they should not allow him to have that interview or that. Because Ben Horn, even though he is an independent journalist, is somewhat controlled by the press.
Absolutely.
By the Cricket Australia.
By his publication,
Yeah, the Cricket Australia, if they urged him not to issue it, would embargo it or something, he would generally, out of courtesy, obey with that.
True.
So there's something wrong on all levels. The Cricket Australia haven't had the ability to stop him, because they would have been aware of it. Steve Smith had been photographed with 2 kids. It's not like any Cricket Australia. He's contracted to Cricket Australia. Steve Smith is, so he has an obligation to them to give them, and they're orchestrated with their media, of course.
I mean, they might be all for this. They might want this, and this is their way of publicly making the whole thing tenable, I suppose, in the eyes of the public. And that's manipulative if that's the case. It might not be the case, but let's see how it all pans out.
The fact is, if the public came out in backlash and got really angry, they may have also answered their question. If this were Dave Warner saying, "I want to be captain,"
they would be outraged.
It
Yeah.
would be. So he's also officially banned from ever
That
captaining again.
that's right.
So he
Yeah.
couldn't even contemplate it. Steve Smith was only given I think a 12-month, maybe 2 years. I think it's 12-month ban from captaincy, right?
Mhm.
So that's over. So yeah, he's every right to become captain, but it's not done publicly like this. Oh, it's
You
just
know that the underbelly of cricket, the dark side of cricket is actually very interesting because you see the human condition. You know, you see whether it's ego, greed, money, pride, bribery. Oh my God, the scandals, match fixing, this, that, and the other. Then if people really knew what happened behind the doors, they would throw up and be disgusted and never watch a game again. I mean, not every game is like that, but there's enough of this happening, scattered, has been for the last 50 years, and to make
oh,
you like,
it's a joke. It's a joke. It is a joke. The whole thing's a joke. I don't care who's to blame or not to blame. I don't care who points finger at who. They're all as bad as each other. There's no way that Cricket Australia or Ben Horn or Steve Smith did this by accident.
hmm. Now, the other question is Justin Langer, how solid is his position? Is he
Well, it
vulnerable to
doesn't matter.
stealth?
He's the current coach,
Yeah.
and there's a current captain,
Yeah.
Tim Payne. And if they think it's not going to change, well, that's they're right to say that. They're not being, and the fact that Justin Langer has actually said that, you've got to respect. He could have
Yes.
said nothing. He could have refused to speak to the press and say, "I don't have. It's not my decision. Go away." But he actually said quite strongly, "No." He said, "No, he's not. He's not wanted." Not because not because he doesn't like him, because he's still going to be in the team. But he said, "No, everything's fine. Tim's the captain." And I know that can be the line that he takes, but I'm glad. I'm actually glad Justin Langer had the guts to say that. Anyway, so Barami Irani said, Norman Preity, what your opinion on yo-yo test or fitness tests for cricket? I was in favour, but looking at performance of Raheem Cornwall and his batting and bowling, even feeling it slips, I'm changed. I have spoken publicly about this before. We need people like Cornwall in the game. We need
Mm.
people to see that you don't have to be perfectly fit to make it, because any young aspiring cricketer who's 8, 9, 10 years old or whatever, they can often be chubby. And they may be great little cricketers.
Yes.
Maybe they're not going to be the fastest in the field,
Yeah.
but they're going to be they could dominate a team. And there's plenty of people that have played at the highest level like that. So the beep tests are a bit of a joke, because the Shrunken Girls is my best example.
Hmm.
Because, okay, you can be the fastest and fittest. Yeah, we need people like that. You need a Jadeja, whoever.
Yeah.
But you don't discount a person's ability to bat and bowl. This Cornwall's been tremendous. You know, there's Shrunken Girls who play cricket who don't don't succeed with the beep test.
Hmm.
Even a girl called Trisha Shetty who plays for South Africa didn't get
Hmm.
it, and she couldn't get the team, which was laughable. It was laughable because the person who did get it, so there was a keeper there who's extremely overweight, Lisa Lee. She happens to be a very good batter,
Okay.
and she's currently the leading batter in the world. She's number 1 in the world for, I think, ODI or T20 cricket.
All right.
She's very chubby and very, you would say, unfit. And I can't imagine her passing this beep test. But she's in the side. Whereas Trisha Shetty, who's a lot slimmer and a lot fitter, didn't pass and didn't get in. And I was scratching my head at that. So the reality is they have to take into account the person's batting and bowling prowess. And if they're really good at that, then you have to concede that, okay, they're not perfect with a beep test. We'll make a call and let them play. Because if you say no to them, there's so many players out there.
Yeah.
I would argue, I'm not going to know exact figure, maybe 10, 15 people out of 100 that play cricket
Yeah.
are overweight.
I
And may not be
agree.
the fastest, but their batting and bowling may be fantastic. So you have to make a judgment call based on.
It's yeah. So my view on this is every team in the world has their own. This isn't some ICC policy. I'm assuming. I think every well, they might have something in place, but I think every country will have its specific the test that it uses, the level, the level of difficulty, or what exactly they want to test as well. Is it speed? Is it strength, resistance, so on? Because some people, they may not be the fastest, but they have more. They may be stronger in other ways. So I mean, I think Virat Kohli is an example of somebody who really pushed for this. He wanted an Indian team, I suppose, to be so agile, fit, dynamic, light, and this is the fittest Indian team, perhaps. You look at last several decades. We had fantastic players, fantastic batsmen, great bowlers, but they weren't always the most in shape or quick on their feet and alert. So it's good that Kohli is pushing this, and I think the Indians women's side has also been inspired by his push for this. I remember hearing interviews where the Indian female captain was talking about it, like how now they're adopting it. It's worked for them, but that's India. That's one country. There may be other countries where you'll have some stars who may be exceptions, and you need to nurture them. I think what you would have to do with players like that, if they're really good with the bat, um, well, I know it's not easy, but you have to make it your focus and your job to really help them get through the line, perhaps. You know,
But in Cornwall's case, he
he
sits
won't.
himself at first slip. He doesn't move a lot. He takes some very competent catches there. He does his job, and he bowls well and he's batting well. And I'm applauding his selection. He's getting more runs and taking more wickets than some of the other so-called fitter players. And being extremely fit, you can actually lose some of your talent
I
because
agree. Yeah.
I think you can. I mean, you get pectoral muscles, you get soft tissue injuries because you're actually overworking. And I keep looking back to a lot of the players that Arjuna Ranzoppa won a bloody World Cup as captain. I mean, Inzamam Al Haq was not fit. Actually, Virat
Yes.
Kohli was quite a chubby boy. He was
You
quite chubby.
well, they call him Chiku because he had fat cheeks.
And he did.
Ironically, he was the pudgy kid who is now. I mean, Rohit Sharma isn't the slimmest person on the block either. Yeah.
Vihari's carrying some weight. So look, I'm a bit annoyed. Not annoyed. I don't really care if they play well and they when you go. Darren Lehman smokes to high heaven. He smokes hundreds of cigarettes. I'm going to say a day. He does. I've seen him. He comes out of the game, out of the dressing room, goes out and smokes. There are other cricketers. I won't mention the female cricketers. I know some very, very, very well, and they smoke like a chimney and they drink like a chimney. But they're surprisingly one of the fittest players and one of the fastest bowlers. So that's a real anomaly. Like Jeff Thompson, for God's sake.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazingly fit and wiry, very supple, but he drank and ate, or not ate, but he was just not taking care of himself.
The
Anyway,
the game has evolved
no,
from what
I
it.
don't agree with you. I don't agree with you.
Okay.
It's evolved, yes, but it shouldn't lose the
Yeah.
corners.
I don't mean the I don't mean the actual game. I mean, this entity called cricket. Not actually, sport has evolved too. It's not just cricket, tennis, soccer. Now there's so much focus on diet, on your lifestyle. The lean technique. I mean, we have a lot of elite athletes now turning vegan, and that would have never been even a thought or even an afterthought even a decade ago. They would say, how are you going to get your protein? How are you going to get the nutrients that you need? And now you see, Novak Djokovic, who's number one tennis player in the world right now, he's a vegan. He's been a vegan for years, and he actually contributes his success to his lean, eating habits and
Yeah,
lifestyle.
but tennis is a
So
different game. Tennis is a different game.
sure,
You
no,
have to be fit.
yeah,
But I mean,
but
I actually think for cricket, being a vegan, I honestly think that it's not good. Why? Because there's certain aspects of strength that you can get through other proteins.
yeah,
But I think that you need to eat a balanced diet, which means inclusive of things, not exclusive. Okay. So yeah, music harmony is the same way. You can be fat and be fit. I know this is easy for me to say. I'm overweight,
yes,
but I tell you what, I can play cricket all day. Okay. During my playing career, when I was, so-called younger and fitter, I was still not perfectly slim. So, and I'm not trying to defend because of me, but generally, you can be chubby but be fit, match fit. just means that you're carrying weight, but you can still be fit. Fitness is you can be extremely slim and not
Yes.
carry any weight and be unfit.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's
And not
absolutely
be
wrong
and not be strong
to
and
generalize with fat means unfit. That's the other
yeah,
thing.
that's true. And also, you wonder how some of these players pass this test in the first place because they're not very good on the field, or they don't really look that quick or agile. So you're thinking, I
Well,
mean,
Monty will
yeah,
tell you, Monty wasn't. He'd be probably the first one to admit that he wasn't the best fielder. Okay, he wasn't the fastest. He wasn't necessarily overweight, but he wasn't the fastest. He wasn't the fittest. He was often knocked about that. His batting was not perfect, but I tell you what, his bowling carried him through, and he made the national side. So, you know, there are plenty of blokes that are fitter than Monty
yeah,
Panesar or Inzamam Al Haq or whomever you want to mention. Doesn't mean they're playing for their country. So even Stuart McGill is quite a chubby
yeah,
guy.
yeah,
He's quite chubby. And Shane Warne, who's going to
yeah.
if Shane
We
Warne
spoke
didn't pass a
about
beep
him.
test? If Shane Warne didn't pass a beep test, would you play him? Of course you would.
Yeah.
So
There's always
that's
exceptions to the norm. I think there are those few players that. And also, it's one thing if you're established and you're a little pudgy, obviously they'll keep you. I think it's tricky for the up and coming, the ones who haven't been selected yet. They are the ones who are going to miss out, not always the established players because they
that's
will
right.
find a way. Yeah.
There are a lot of kids being told you got to lose that weight to play for your country. That's rubbish. It should be rubbish. Okay, it really should be. David Burns, another example. Rodney Marsh, they were chunky. David Burns was a ball. He was particularly agile, but he was a ball, and he was a great player. Rodney Marsh kept wickets, which should be where you have to be your fittest. So I don't want to lose that. In fact,
Interesting.
you will lose
Wow.
patience if you have kids that are fat
Mhm.
and they see that no one plays cricket that's a bit chubby at that level. They've got no one to inspire them. They can be inspired to be fit. I can understand that. But the
Yeah.
reality is they need someone to see.
To look up.
Cornwall's going to become
Yeah.
a real pin-up. You watch. And the West Indies, who are generally very fit people,
Yes.
incredibly
Yeah.
fit people, they're naturally gifted fit
Yes.
people, they've selected him. Good on them. Honestly.
Yeah.
Good on them.
I think. Look, it seems like every country might have their own set of tests and rules and their selection process, and
The
perhaps.
high
Yeah.
performance coaching is the same. They all use this stupid beep test. All right. I played cricket at a pretty good level at early, so there was no such thing as a beep test. And I know the game's evolved. I get that, but we
Yes.
can't. It's like even if you go to the army, they often knock people back for little things. And I
Yeah.
tell you what, there'll be some pretty clever people with guns and commanders
Yeah. Who
of
wouldn't pass the
people.
fitness test? Yeah.
They could be as fat as hell. Yeah, it's a. I'm
I
not.
think the army is different because in a life and death situation, you have to be able to help, get a body out, get yourself out. It's very they. I mean, I understand the army; they have such high standards for like, not everyone is the sharpest tool, but they do physically. They have the capability to, save a life, and that's why they are chosen, and that's why they get them so young and predominantly men as well. There's so much reasoning that goes behind that. You should see the Indian Army
Yeah,
training.
Music
Oh,
Harmony's making this comment. Music Harmony, we're saying the same thing as you. Don't
yes,
try and make it we're not. We're saying exactly the same thing as you. You say,
yes,
oh, look at the players that are not fit and we make it. That's exactly what I'm saying. Music Harmony, stop having side conversations
yeah.
which appear to be contrary to what we're saying when we're in total agreement.
We're agreeing where everybody is. These are just nice discussions to have, looking at other points of view. You know, we're not the selectors. Every country is going to do the right thing, and they would be wise to keep their best players. Even if
Well,
they have any.
Irani's right. Barami Irani says that fitter players are getting injured quickly because they're like the best comparison is it's like a Lamborghini that is the most high performance, high powered vehicle in the
Yes,
world. How often does a Lamborghini break down or a Jaguar? Extremely frequently. But a good old Ford Escort or a Holden doesn't. I mean, there's a bit of merit to that. There's a lot of merit to that. You know that because how many in rugby league, which is one of my favourite sports, you know that for the Rabbitohs. Some of the players are highly strung, highly fit people. Big their muscles go. Their pectoral muscle. I've never heard of somebody who have a torn pectoral. The only reason why that's torn is because you're there going like that with weights.
Yes.
Too much. And high performance pushes you to a limit where it's changing. I think they're taking a step back. Anyway, because some of the business.
Interesting conversation.
Cornwall's got half a century to Cornwall. If you watch him bat, he just goes bang. Beautiful strike of the ball. And it is, I actually look, if I'm watching the cricket now and he comes on the bat, I'll watch. As opposed to someone who's physically ripped and fit and gets injured from being overworked. Oh, that's boring. Look at all the fast bowlers got injured in it. All were highly fit. It's true.
Yeah.
All the top bowlers were highly fit. Well, there were two. Well, that can't be fit if they're getting injured. Something's wrong. There's a chubbier man or a less fit man who knows his limitations and plays within his limitations, can play very, very well, and not. James Anderson's pretty fit, but Stuart Broad, you'd argue he's not exactly perfectly slim. They know their limitations. They know their body limitations. If you push them too far, they're going to snap. Coley said his fitness idol was Cornwall. I don't think so. I don't think he did that. I'd be surprised. That would make me laugh. But the optimum person is a fit Ferrari. But how many Ferraris lose their wheel or engine troubles? BMWs, whatever. It's just again, Ian Botham, a picture of fitness. They laugh. He enjoyed his cricket. He had a drink. He ate a lot. He's a chubby guy. One of the best players in the world. I don't care if he played 20, 30 years ago. It doesn't matter. His records stand up now. In fact, I'm going to make a stand. I'm sick of this crap. Cornwall's a great example. I reckon we should make every damn national team have one fat guy.
No. Now you're going into intersectionality.
Why can't I go too far? Why can't they go too far? Why do I have to listen to them? It's just that they've gone too far the other way.
The selectors will not agree with you.
I want one fat guy on every team. Bugger it.
So funny.
You know what? The amount of people who are overweight in the population of the world, is it more than 50%?
Oh, especially Australia. People don't know it's a fat country. Is it 60% overweight or something like that? That's an enormous statistic.
Well, there you go. You're losing 60% of the population who can watch the game because they might get turned off by the stuff.
All the more reason to aspire to be fitter and leaner and slimmer. For your own health, not vanity,
If someone's chubby and they hit the ball out of the ground, you're going to watch them.
I think sport, unfortunately, is going into another territory altogether, and I think the standards are going to get even higher. Everybody's going to have to do everything, and so we'll see where this all goes.
One of the best baseball players in the world.
Yeah.
Have you seen photographs of him? He had a huge chubby face. He was not fit. W.G. Grace, one of the most revered cricketers. I mean, I'm sorry, that's throughout. We're talking about decades of sport.
Yeah.
We're not Ferraris. If we're Ferraris, everybody knows Ferrari. We don't because they're expensive to maintain and they break down. I'm not defending people because I'm chubby. I'm not saying that. It's got nothing to do with it. I think it's just wrong. Colin Crowley, Ken Barrington, Munchie's giving me 2 names. I could rattle off about 400 names, I'll tell you now. Colin Cowdrey was a remarkable he played, I think, 20-odd years of cricket. Ken Barrington, look at our friend David Gravely. Admittedly, there were photographs of him when he was young, when he was thinner. So was I. But, I don't know. I think there's a lot to be learned from that. Okay. So one person, my views, hang on, your views on punt being captain and how do you assess the punt? I tell you what, I'm now saying, I said Delhi Capitals before, didn't I, would win that thing?
Yeah.
I'm even more saying that now.
So Mumbai Indians, watch out.
Rishabh Pant. Has anyone had a good look at Rishabh Pant? He's not slim.
I know. He's such a cutie. Everyone loves him in India because he's another Chiku, you know.
So he's not slim either. Hello, hello.
Such a fantastic. But
Actually,
he passes the test though. He's quick though. That
yeah, I think you can really, really seriously. If Punt didn't pass the beat test, would they
they
drop him?
wouldn't drop
No.
him. He's a gem.
So
They would
that's a double
not
standard.
drop him. Yeah.
They can
He's
use the
next
beep
level
test.
though. Very few players are on that level. Yeah.
But they can use the beep test in their favour. They can not select someone using that as an excuse. That's another thing.
I
But
see.
okay. Oh, I won't go into the women's players who I'm talking about, but one's extremely fat. One that was not nearly as fat didn't get selected. So there was a double standard there. And then there was
Okay.
one that smokes and drinks like a chimney and is the leading player.
Okay.
So,
This is so funny. So my views on Pant, so happy. I've been saying this, harping on for so long. Rishabh Pant is the future of Indian cricket. He will be the future Indian captain. Toss probably for all formats. Fantastic. And he's not the next Gilchrist. He's the first Rishabh Pant. He's his own player and his style of playing.
we
Yeah.
said that in videos. What are you talking about? That was
Yeah.
what we said.
No, but
Little
yeah.
Rapakshi said that actually.
And I have been a big fan of his for a long time. And the young guy again is a local boy. He's one of the son of the soil types of players. We have some of those in India, and the public loves those in particular because they came from small towns and they're not elite. And for them to be
So
elite,
there's a
top
question
of the
here
world,
saying,
amazing.
there's a question which I'm going to answer quite strongly. It's saying, why are you guys questioning a beautiful woman's knowledge? I'm not questioning Pretty's knowledge. Where do you get that from?
Yeah, that is such a weird question.
Maybe you know what, when someone says that as a question, maybe you suffer from that because I certainly don't. I'm
Well, we may
unbiased.
disagree, but that's not like if I have a
If
different
I felt
opinion
that
to
way,
you.
if I
Yeah.
felt that way about Pretty or about Aparna, I wouldn't have them on the show. Why would I bother having women on the show if I felt that way? So I don't
And
feel that way.
yeah, and also, I mean, look, if I disagree with you, it doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm talking about. It just means that I think a certain way. I mean, there may be people who don't know. Look, there's a lot of women who don't know anything about cricket. That's a different story. But I mean, in my case,
Well,
I've
there's a lot of men
followed
that
it. Yeah.
don't know about cricket too. I'd say
That's true too. And in my case, I've followed it my whole life. Knowledgeable about it. But also remember, I'm a geopolitical expert. I speak on news channels around the world. I've been doing that for years. I'm
no, but hang on, he's not having a go at you. He's having a go at me, not you.
okay, no, but I'm just saying I'm a natural analyst,
Yeah, but
debater,
you don't need
commentator.
to.
You know, I'm
Pretty.
just telling him my background.
Pretty,
Yeah.
let me give you a tip, Pretty. You don't need to say any of that. You don't need to say that. You don't need to prove anything. It's like me saying if I'm overweight, if I'm overweight, I don't need to prove anything to anyone. I don't need to be what they think I am, who I am, and you're who you are.
Yeah.
And it's irrelevant whether you're male or female, fat or slim, black or white, yellow or green. It doesn't matter. And you're justifying being a woman involved with cricket. Not that I'm blaming you, but you shouldn't have to. And any other idiot that does that to you will just ignore them. In fact,
But
that's
I must say I mean, if on the other side, the point he makes is right. I mean, obviously you're
no, I'm not
very
blaming no, but Amit's
respectful, but
not at fault here. Amit's not at fault at all.
yeah.
What he's saying is actually wrong, but I don't blame him for saying it. He's saying you guys always question the beautiful lady. No, we don't.
No, you may
I
not,
don't
but
know.
many do. Many do, though. Trust me, as a person, I'm the
No, I'm
one at the
talking about on
receiving
this
end, right?
show.
Yeah.
On this show, anyone. I mean, nobody really has. Okay, nobody has. But that.
Well, you should be asking the women on the show what their experience is. It's not for the men to, again, it's not for the men to say, oh, I'm fair. No, ask the woman, do you think that they were fair to you? They may say no. So you have to look. I always interject. I voice out my opinion. I think sometimes you guys have conversations between
I tell you
yourselves
what.
and you
I tell
don't
you what, Pretty.
engage me,
I
and
tell you
I
what,
don't
Pretty.
like that.
Pretty.
But
Pretty. If I wore your glasses, I would get some comments. I'll tell you.
no, it has nothing to do with my glasses. I don't always wear them.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
See, I'm
I'm
such a
joking.
serious person.
I
Yeah.
said if I wore, Why are you wearing the glasses? Why?
I like them. I think they're cool.
Oh, I might put a pair of glasses on them
But
too.
this is a very, very important question, and I'm glad that somebody brought it
Would
up.
that be a good look? Pretty,
They,
would that, is that a good look?
that's your crystal ball. It's very this does happen a lot, unfortunately, all in all areas. I've come always from heavily male dominated industries like finance, investment banking, including Hollywood, and now sports. And the level of misogyny that's there, sexism, kind of just assuming, especially if the woman is very beautiful, sexy, or glamorous, suddenly well, because she doesn't need to be that smart, and there's a lot of obviously trolls and kind of low lives who also think like that,
Okay,
as well.
okay,
True.
pretty. I mean, I'll be on my honest opinions. I don't care what anyone says about me or you or others, because really, I think I've made it clear to you as well as anyone. Someone who says something stupid or outrageous or can have an opinion. I'm not saying that's bad to have an opinion. And Ahmed's not having. He's not saying anything bad.
Yeah.
He's
No,
not
no, no.
right,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean he's bad. But what I'm getting at is people who make bad opinions or say that Pretty's to this or to that. You know what? What do you do, people? What do you do, viewers? What do you do when someone says that I'm too fat or I'm too old or Pretty's this or Pretty's that? You know what? You ignore the bloody comment.
Yeah.
You ignore them. I don't care, because I know I'm good at what I'm doing, and so is Pretty. And if we weren't, you wouldn't be watching. So if you don't
True.
want to watch, that's another
Yeah.
decision. Okay.
And anyway, I don't get that. I usually get, a lot of love and support, and people even commenting a lot on my
Okay.
points, agreeing with my points, and so on.
I have to admit, Floyd Mayflower is it's getting boring now. I think we've over. Yeah, he's probably right. Okay. Okay. I think we are probably talking too much about it. We need to not worry about it. Okay.
Yeah.
So back to the cricket for a moment. I know that the IPL is here next week, April
Mhm.
7th
Yes.
to May 30th. We're going to be covering every match. The likes of Rishabh Pant to become captain of his Delhi Capitals, a major.
Mhm.
I'm very convinced the Delhi Capitals will go that one step further this year. Even though Mumbai Indians have got an amazingly good
Yeah.
side and Royal Challengers Bangalore got a great side on paper, that doesn't win any matches. Mumbai Indians probably, you can argue, deserve to come close, but luck's not going to be up on. You can't have that much luck that everything goes perfectly every single time. The Mumbai Indians probably will go very close, but they won't have the luck their way every year. So I would argue that Mumbai Indians won't win this year, not because I don't think they're good enough, just that the luck won't go that way. Royal Challengers Bangalore have got to understand that they're going to have the Kohlis and the De Villiers and whoever else is in the side, but they need more than that. They actually need a good team combination, and they're not winning because of that reason.
There's
And if
a
they don't
reason
get that,
why they have star players and they've never really won. They're not great champions like MI and CSK have. Why? Because they have the best captains and they've got the best combinations.
the reality is, I think it's well known in the world. If you have a team of champion players, doesn't make you a champion team. It's proven. It's very, very rare that a team stacked with 3 or 4 champions actually win the matches.
Mm-hmm.
Why? It's the dynamic of the team.
The dynamic of the team, yeah.
The harmony of the team. It's like a marriage. It's like if you've got 2 outstanding movie stars, generally they get divorced. Why? Because
Yeah.
too much going on
Competing
there.
for excellence as well and their opportunity to shine. Whereas when you have a balanced captain, I mean a team, and of course you need a very very good captain as well. Then people if you look, it's team effort, and with IPL it's especially team effort, and you have to contribute and do your bit, and you need to come together as a team. And the team that does that the most has been winning, like MI and CSK. So
You know what? We've got some amazing side conversations. People are getting stuck into each other. Many MI fans in the house, official side, they probably are, and deservedly so. They've won 2 comps in a row. They win 3. It's not going to be a surprise to us.
yeah.
But I just don't think life works that way. You don't generally dominate that many years in a row. You generally injury but form, the other team
Yeah.
excels. It's, I think that's more the one. Okay. I'm trying to read some of these things here.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think, Delhi, DC, and MI in the final. I said that even a couple of months ago when I first sort of was thinking about the IPL, and now even more so. But you never know. IPL is one of those like T20. You can throw up any champion, and it would be nice to see, someone who is, or at least somebody who hasn't been winning, do well or do much better. So it's always good to see that too.
One of the best examples is Chennai Super Kings. They obviously
Yes.
had Dhoni, who was a great leader,
Yeah.
but they didn't necessarily have a team of champions. They had a
I
champions
agree.
team.
They didn't, but they
And,
came together
and,
anyway.
and someone like Dhoni, he time and time again has proven to be the best captain ever India had, in my opinion.
I'm with
In
you.
capital depth, because they led from the
Yeah.
front. They dealt with what they had in front of them.
Yeah.
And at this point in time, Kohli probably isn't quite at that level. Now, I'm not
No.
knocking Kohli's captaincy,
Yeah.
but I tell you what, when I see him go like put his hands up in the air like that when a field drops a catch,
Dhoni would never do that.
no captain should do that.
Yeah.
No captain. A good captain will go and support that player, and that player will feel the better for it. The moment you put your hands, even though it might have been a crucial moment, he wouldn't see Williamson do that. He probably wouldn't see Smith, or Smith maybe, but generally they don't do it. So, all right, we've gone an hour here, Pretty. So I'm not wanting to take up too much more of
Hmm.
our time. We've had a few comments to say that some of the sessions are a bit long,
Okay.
and that's okay, because you know what, the long ones have been the most popular. I
Yes,
think you
for
can
sure.
actually enter this, and you don't have to necessarily watch the whole hour and a half. But once it's recorded, guys, once it's recorded an hour and a half, you can go back leisurely any
Yeah.
time and review it, gain from it, see parts of it more. And I actually like watching, not just myself, but in general, when I go back, I pick up things which I didn't necessarily remember on the day, and it can be later. In this morning's interview, I bet you most people haven't seen the tail end of it. Why? It was long. But I interviewed this lovely man, Lionel, at 84. You have to go and watch that. It was beautiful. He didn't want to go. He wanted to keep going.
Oh,
And,
that's so sweet.
and the randomness of me picking him, and I'm not bragging, but I'm very proud of the way I do it. I bring people who would least expect to be in it, and they have a moment when they really say something interesting. And isn't that what this is all about? Many people have got some very insightful thoughts, but they don't get to share it. So, official size, it's either MI or SRH this year. Sunrise,
Mm.
SRH again what's the, is it Hyderabad?
The
Sunrises.
Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Hyderabad.
I like that comment. I look, for me, I'm torn. Like, I don't know who you're. Obviously, it seems like you're going for Delhi Capitals. For me,
I've got no.
um,
I'm not a Delhi Capitals fan,
okay,
but
you
I'm
just think that.
convinced. I'm
Yeah.
not. I don't actually like Kolkata Knight Riders as my team.
Oh,
If I'm being
okay.
honest with you, but I'm being unbiased in saying the Delhi Capitals team is very balanced, and Rishabh Pant's captaincy
Yes,
could be. Let's be honest. He's a match winner. He's a
he
match
is.
winner. He's.
Yeah.
I reckon he's going to have a tournament coming out of his skin.
Yeah.
I reckon he's going to go, unless he gets injured. He will he will take the game by the scruff of the neck, and he'll show it to all of them. I
Sure.
actually think now, emphatically, they're going to have Steve Smith in the squad, and Rahane, and quite a few other great players. I mean, they've got a very balanced team, and they look at bowling on it. They're going to win. Not because I'm a Delhi Capitals fan. There's nothing
No,
to do
no,
with that.
no. Yeah. It's, well, for me, I'm torn because obviously my hometown is Hyderabad. So, I mean, technically speaking, Sunrisers should be my team. But obviously, as a huge Dhoni fan, a CSK, I'd like to see them win. They would be my all-time favorite team.
How can
But
you be from Hyderabad when you're from Sydney, you're from America, you're from here, you're from there?
my family's from there. That's my
But your
real, yeah.
mother's in Sydney.
No, no, but she's from Hyderabad. But in India, every state is it's like 25 different
I told
countries
you that
in,
that
in
friend of
one
mine,
country.
Yashpal
So
Erdem,
diverse.
I told her that a friend of mine, Yashpal Erdem, knows your mother and knows you.
Yeah, we don't know him, but look, our family probably knows, has met people, that maybe they're not, their name isn't ringing right now. But yeah, I mean, so Sunrisers, but of course the CSK.
So I'm
You
not
know, I'd
sure
like.
if saying a Hyderabadi biryani. Oh, hello. Whatever
It's
it's
my
called.
favorite dish. There you go. There's nothing like Hyderabadi cuisine. You
Robert
know.
Dace is a pretty Hyderabadi girl. What about saying a sexy Sydney man? No one says that. Okay, I'm gonna mention the first person that says hi, sexy Norman from Sydney. If anyone says that, I'm gonna mention your name. Let's see who takes the bait.
Let's see who takes the bait. Because guys, you know, if you want to be featured, all you have to do is say very nice things about Norman, you know. Don't
Oh,
worry about me. I get thousands of
hang
comments,
on,
but they're
hang on.
never put up, you
Hang on.
know.
That's made me a red rag for a book. Are you saying that I only comment when someone says a good thing about me? Is that what you're saying? You just said that on record. You just said that on record. All right. For the next 2 minutes. For the next 2 minutes. Hang on. For the next 2 minutes. Hang on. Hang on. I can't. Next 2 minutes. I'm going to do this to Pretty.
No.
Right.
Oh,
Just for the next. Pretty, can you hear me?
you should. Yeah, well, you should put me on focus too after you're on focus.
But pretty. Say sorry, otherwise I'm not putting it back on.
Okay. I'm not very good at apologizing at all.
You're going to apologize because I'm not going to put you back on. Apologize.
Apologize for what?
One, I'll count to three. 1, 2, 2.5, 2.5.
I did nothing wrong.
All right.
So cute.
You.
Ooh, can you hear me now? Yeah.
Why did you want to say sorry? That was terrible what you said.
No, because I didn't say anything intentionally to hurt anyone. I was just making a humorous observation. And it's you know,
That's so. This is here we go. Here we go.
oh, oh my God, this guy. Yeah. I've seen his comments before.
Are you dismissing his comments?
No, he's yeah, I'm not gonna go there. He hasn't been the most respectful person in the chat, so
I think he's been very
somebody,
respectful there now.
yeah, not to me. He's, you know.
And Sons.
I thought you said for the next 2 minutes you're gonna put up my comments, not yours. And this is the point that I made.
Oh, it is your birthday. Okay, it is your birthday. I know, I get that. Can't find any good comments.
Oh my God. And guys, I read everything. I know exactly who's saying what, and I'm making notes, you know.
Yeah, I think this is a very good comment. So he said, what does he said? He said, hang on. I'm just taking photographs of good comments.
Someone said something funny. This was much earlier ago. He was like, almost 1/4 of the comments are just about Preity and how glamorous she is. But hey, it's positive. It's all good. I'll take that.
I'm just being politically balanced and correct, and allowing people to put comments about me.
You think somebody like me, with everything that I've gone through in my life, needs validation
I mean, you've got
from
people saying
anyone?
pretty is all pretty. Somebody's saying pretty is all pretty. What does that mean?
Oh, cute.
Come on, Pretty. Your fans are craving to see your eyes. I like that comment.
The windows to my soul.
Glasses off. Hang on.
So
Donnie is too old. Donnie is too old and burdens the team. No, well, I don't think CSK think that. And look,
1.4 billion people do not think that he is an institution. He's a one in a billion player, once in a generation. There is nobody like him. Like the Kohlis can come and go. There will only be one Dhoni. And you ask any real Indian cricket lover, and they would agree with me. You know,
you've seen him. What he's done for my mother that day.
No, I mean, most of India.
When he sat there and had a chat to my mother.
I know. I mean, how many players would do that? But most people love him. I mean, I can just put all of his uh, performance as a player aside, just as a human being, as a Indian citizen, as a supporter of the army. Uh, he's up there where people can only dream of being. So
So
forget the player.
Music Harmony has just brought some breaking news. But we've mentioned Mitchell Marsh is not playing for the Sunrisers Hyderabad. It looks like Jason Roy has replaced him. So obviously
Very
Jason
good.
Roy didn't go home because Jason Roy could have already been on his way to England, but he's not. He's stuck
Yeah.
around. And I think I mentioned some of the players were sticking around regardless. Coley, Robert equals Dhoni. Now, they certainly are on pretty much the same page. I think Dhoni's the best captain out of
I
those three
agree.
by far.
Yeah. Yeah.
The best player is probably Coley. The most talented player that hasn't reached his full talent is probably Sharma.
And at the end of the day, you want.
His talent's outrageous.
Yeah.
Sharma is probably the most gifted talent-wise out of the three, to be honest. But unfortunately, he hasn't done that every single match, which is hard to do. And you know what? Great players don't always do that. They often don't reach their peak because it's pretty scary how their peak's so high. Let's be honest.
True. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, comes down to your ability. You can be talented, you can be great, you can have your, your great performances here and there, but you have to be somebody that a billion people can depend on, and that was Dhoni. They knew when he was on the scene, things would happen, the job would get done. You can't say that about anybody else in the way that you could say about Dhoni or Sachin for that matter. Kapil Dev was another one. Sunil Gavaskar was another one. These four are sort of in a league of their own.
Gavaskar was chubby.
And yeah, and they're in a league of their own that nobody can touch, you know. Yeah.
So Gavaskar was chubby. Shall I go on? I'm gonna have a chubby fan club. That's what I'm gonna do.
You're so cute.
There's a Chris fan club, and the person's saying, Chris is an amazing guy, an amazing cricketer.
Oh my God.
Chris fan club.
He's not even here. Hello. That has to be Chris.
It's his cousin or his mother or his brother.
It's Chris sitting there typing.
He's got 7 computers open. Chris Vernon's listening. I know Chris Vernon's listening.
We know that they're all Russian bots. Hello.
With 7 IP addresses, and these 7 IP addresses are 7 different fan clubs. I'm pretty sure. When
the Chris Vernon fan club is trolling in Hindi, I know it's not real. And when they keep saying statements like that, it's so funny. I think he takes it seriously though. He's believing his own PR.
No, he doesn't take it seriously. I think he's delusional is the right word.
I think so. Oh my God.
Music Harmony is giving us a side here. Must be his fantasy side. That's the other thing that we need to talk about is this concept of a fantasy team. We can't seem to get an internet-worthy program for all countries of the world for this fantasy team. We have to work out some other manual way of doing that, but we need to work that out and pick the best team, the fantasy team each game.
You know, I know that you did this with some of the other members. You asked them to pick their playing 11, their dream 11 or something like that. You should do that with me, either for test or ODI, because I have my list and it's different to what I've heard so far.
Okay. So are you going to tell us that you've got this magical wand that you can pick that side post games?
This is your ever. No. I'm talking about your dream playing. I think your like your best 11 ever. It's not 2021 or anything like that. You know, like so far.
Okay, well, tell us.
No, I won't do it. I'll get my list and I'll do it next time. But I'm just saying that's something that
I in front of you.
I will not be discussing this right now. When the topic is on the table, we'll discuss it then.
All right.
This is so amazing.
We probably need it. So Dhoni is too old. He is like 45 now. And we're not talking
No,
about how old he is. We're not talking about
no.
he's obviously not the same player, but he's
Yeah,
inspirational. And
yeah.
look, the other thing which is important to remember, teams pick players because of their star power. Chris Gale for his star power, even Chris Lynn for his star power, Ben Cutting. These players aren't necessarily at their best either, but they keep getting
And
sort of
what
old.
and can I just tell the person who made it, what a disrespectful statement as an Indian to make that to your own captain who has given you the most that anyone else have. That's shameful.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we won't do that. All right. So they're saying Shahid Afridi is 20. He's not 20. He's certainly 30.
They're joking. Because when he was 16, trust me, he wasn't 16, but they told the world he was 16 and the world believed it.
Music Harmony saying so true, Pity, what you said about the age, old as bold. I've been saying it too, guys. It's not like, I've been talking about that as well. Age is irrelevant. Weight is irrelevant. It's ability. It's leadership. It's acceptance that we need to talk about. Okay. Yeah, Dhoni's doing it for millions. He's not doing it for free. So
And nobody's doing it for free.
Official size now saying I'm in the chubby fat fan club.
Oh.
But the thing is, Chennai Super Kings have got Kohli there because he brings fans, revenue, money. So that's why he's there. And
You mean
understandably
Dhoni,
so.
not Kohli.
Dhoni, I said Dhoni.
Yeah.
Dhoni, I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, superstar, and he can bring in the sponsors. I mean, I always joke on Twitter, and I get so many tweets and retweets. I say IPL only exists for the sake of CSK fans. I mean, their fans are crazy. And you have to understand that cricket is very much a middle of India and northern Indian sport. South India doesn't get so much into it. So to see them just go berserk, and also the player is not local, he's, from the north, that is something else. And how they have come to love cricket because I think very much because of CSK and Dhoni. And that's why they call him Tala, right? And I mean, I've never seen bigger fans than the CSK fans ever since the beginning of the IPL.
Although the Mumbai Indians are certainly getting there now, I think, too.
Yeah.
And Kolkata, no, they're all pretty peaked, to be honest.
They do, yeah.
All right. We might call it an evening now. I think we've done a fair time slot span. Norman, you're funny. I think I'm funny. I can unabashed say I like being funny. Am I funny?
I think you're hilarious. I think you should do stand up. I really think you have timing, wit, and you're very present.
I tell you what, the guy Jim Farbanek, who I think I've done one show with Julie. Have you seen that show where Jim and Julie learn cricket?
No, I will watch it when I get a chance.
But Jim was funny in that episode, but if Julie wasn't there, and I'm not knocking Julie, but if Jim and I were by ourselves, we would go off.
That's funny. I love funny Americans. They're the best.
When Jim and I are together, we're crying with laughter. We love mucking around, and he's very good at mucking around with me. And he knows exactly what to say to annoy me in a good way, and he remembers everything. If I've done something, I've known him for what, not 30, but close to 30 years, and he remembers things from back then which I did and did not do. Even the girl that I met, Shireen, who I've told you about, I've met her for 25 years. She remembers everything from back then. I'm going, what? How come you remember everything? I said, I remember too much.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Amazing. Can I just take a moment to say something to everybody? Guys, I just want to express my gratitude and love and your support for all the kind wishes. You've been blowing up my Twitter and my Facebook, finding me there, and even on YouTube, leaving comments. And I'm so honored and touched that you care, that you're sending me your love, and not just for today, but I think since I started this journey with Norman. Thank you for your support and for all the wonderful things, the amazing compliments. I feel like I'm, valued and really respected, and really a part of this amazing team, and that what I bring to the table is appreciated and acknowledged. And I mean that also with you yourself, Norman, you for making me feel such an important part of the team, and for letting me be me and be my self, my sassy, strong self. Because you don't always get a chance to do that. And like I mentioned before, there's a lot of issues out there in the world, especially in this area. And I can tell you, as a woman, I myself have seen it happen, and it's too much. Shouldn't be as bad as it is, but trust me, 2021, it's still pretty bad. So I'm honored that I get to be myself, and uh, just express myself.
I'm happy you're saying that, and I think the way I've approached this whole program is I'm inclusive, not exclusive, and I don't want to leave anyone out. I want to bring people in. I want to nurture them. For you, obviously yourself, Preity, you've grown while you're on this channel as well. Aparna has grown immensely. Even Chris certainly has as
Chris has
well.
really grown, right? From
Yeah, but his video I
He's
posted,
going down.
his video's only got 180 views. I mean, I put a lot of effort into that video. I tried to make him look good. I did a lot of makeup on him. It just didn't work. It just didn't work.
But you're it's beyond inclusivity. It's about merit. I mean, you don't want to just put a woman there. You want to put an extremely good woman who can hold her own, debate with the guys. I mean, my friends have watched this and they're like, "Oh my God, you like blow these people away." You should really know what you've got, and that just that you really hold your own and it comes across, and always be that person, and be strong and independent, and just know that you got it.
Even little Rapakshi, who's been on twice, if you see what she did and you see the person that she is, and she would proudly show her parents what she did, it makes me feel good. Even little Nalakshi, when she came on as a
Yes.
guest, she also really
That's
tried.
harder. It's harder when you're, and I myself have had my own journey coming from a place where I was so reserved. To be honest, I'm still very reserved. When you meet me in person, I'm actually very quiet, very, very insular.
I find that very hard to
No,
believe.
no, I am. Because I am
In
so
fact, I
experienced.
don't believe you. Your
So
nose is getting bigger. Your nose is getting bigger. I'm sorry.
because I'm so experienced with media, and with my acting and speaking and all of that, when I'm on the stage, when I have a mic, I turn it on. When it's off, I'm off. You wouldn't hear from me. That's just who I am. So I have a different
I don't
persona
change. I don't
on
change.
screen. Well, I do. So that's why when they only see me on screen, they think that this is me 24/7, and out there in the world it's not. So you have to, if you're being judgmental about things like that, you shouldn't do that, because you don't know me or my story or my life or my background.
Yes, I agree. All right. Norman, she will be quiet when you meet her. Barami. Okay. All right.
My jaw will drop. I'll be speechless.
All right. All right. All right. We better let these people go.
Yes. And let me get back to my breakfast, because it's what is it? I think it's 8:30 a.m. here.
Is it? What time is it here? It's 12:03. So what? How now? You must be 12. Must be 9 a.m. now. What
Yes,
time is it?
just before 9. 10 minutes to
No, it
9.
must be 9:03. Please tell me the exact time. What's the time?
Let's see. I think it's 5 minutes to 9. If it was 1:30, it would be. No, no,
It's
no. I'm
five.
looking at
Five.
how. No, you're right. I'm looking at how long the live recording has been going on, but we had connected a little bit earlier, so yeah, it's
So
about
it's
9.
actually
Yeah.
4 minutes past midnight here. So it's 4 or 5 minutes past 9 there.
Yes.
So that makes you're the same time zone as Mervyn. So that makes 12.
Mm-hmm.
You're 15 hours difference.
Yeah. LA is different. LA is 4 hours different minus here. Yeah. Now I'm closer to Antigua. the same time zone. That's right.
You're extreme, or you are. It's almost exactly.
Yeah.
So I love that comment. I had a comment here saying, "Norman, your show is part of our life." That's nice.
Aw.
I expect every day at 5 p.m., which is 10:30 my time, that I'll be here in front of you.
That's amazing.
I don't know whether I can do it every day. In fact, I have done it every day, but I'll try it. All right, guys. I'm going to say goodbye now. I'm going to say thank you from Preity on her birthday. She
Thank
turned
you.
21 yesterday, today.
Forever 21.
I'm actually 17. I'm not of age yet. I can't drink officially. I can eat officially. It's funny, isn't there? There's a drinking limit. Why is
Yes,
there an eating limit? Is there an eating?
that's right.
Okay. All right. Maybe that's probably a smart thing for America to do to lose weight, or Australia, is to make certain age you can only eat rubbish. That'll be pretty hard. All right. Bye, guys. So Norman Koshnik here from Eyes on Cricket with Norman Koshnik, demanding you to follow me on Twitter, because I've got a very poor Twitter number at Norman Koch, and then the Preity Effect, which is your Twitter handle too.
Yes, please follow me on Twitter, the Preity Effect, Instagram, the Preity Effect, YouTube, the Preity Experience, Facebook, Preity Upala. Please, please, please reach out, connect, engage.
The
Love to hear
Norman
from you.
Experience is just here, but I have Twitter. I have Norman Koch. Okay, so guys, follow us. Breaking news. Adil had breaking news. He's probably going to say breaking news is the situation with Mitchell Marsh and Jason Roy. Okay, we know that. Thank you for that. Okay, so again, enjoy your days or nights or evenings. Sweet dreams if you're sleeping like me. We'll be together again tomorrow on the 1st of April, and I'm not going to be coming on before midday because that's April Fools. I'm not doing that. No, I probably will. But yeah, so all the best. I want you to view, like, and share the channel. Also, share it through your WhatsApp groups, your friends, acquaintances, colleagues, family, whatever it might be. Get them to be aware of it. Not just, I love them watching, but why don't they just subscribe? It costs you nothing to hit the subscribe button. It helps us gauge the numbers. So, all right, we're going to have Roy, of course, Mitchell Marsh. We know that. So that's great. All right, goodbye. Good night.
Goodbye, everyone. Namaste. Thank you,
Namaste.
and see you again. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.